Alright, so obviously before anything else, sanitize myself and my workspace around me, which is what I'm doing right here. Uh, Today we went to the local Publix and grabbed a porterhouse steak from the shelf. It's one of my favorite steaks. It was 17.80 at 2.24 pounds, which is about 7.99 a pound. A little more pricey, but it's just a great steak, so I had to get it. Um, the porterhouse is basically a T-bone on steroids, and today we decided to pan sear it on a skillet at around 500 degrees, which will cook it thoroughly through, and that's probably one of the most important things with a steak of this size, to make sure it's cooked properly all the way through. Uh, what I'm doing right here is seasoning the steak, which is with an old family recipe. It's called the black and blue steak. Right now, I'm putting on black peppercorn, adding that in, and then flipping it over onto the other side, as well as a little garlic salt. The blue that comes in later is blue cheese, which we add on top, which surprisingly is actually very good. Um, this is just a great American dinner, if you ask me. So we cook to 500, and then later on you'll notice that we turn the heat down a little bit, just so it doesn't overcook the steak. We're aiming to eat it at a medium rare. The risk is a little greater, obviously, of eating something medium rare like this, but porterhouses will rarely ever have any diseases such as E. coli in them. Here I'm just adding in the garlic salt to the steak on both sides. Just a little, not too much. We don't want to. We didn't want too much garlic salt in there. The steak was that packaging that it's sitting on is what it came in with, saran wrap on top from Publix. It was pre-packaged before it was shipped to Publix, and very sanitary, very clean. It was sealed completely tight, vacuum tight, and the steak came, obviously, as you can tell, completely intact. Um, it was chilled at around 40 degrees, which is what I left it out in the fridge for. I mean, it was a short time from store to stove for us, but now we transfer the steak and the packaging onto the skillet, and we begin searing this beautiful steak. Uh, while it's searing, the porterhouse is actually from the rear end of the short loin, which makes it a very tender steak. Like I said, a T-bone on steroids. It has so much tender loin on it that it just makes it so juicy. Here we're adding the blue cheese on top of the steak. The steak's probably been cooking for about 3 to 4 minutes. We did about a minute on each side to make sure it was thoroughly cooked through. The blue cheese gives it an incredible flavor that it's not too overpowering, and it just adds a little more zest to the meal. After this, the pan, by the way, going on top of the steak is to seal in the heat so that all sides cook evenly and no heat escapes. Here I'm turning it down and then sticking in my thermometer to check to make sure it's at the optimum temperature for what we wanted to cook it on. And about this point, I realized, yep, it's pretty much ready. So I took my handy dandy spatula and lifted that onto our clean sanitized plate for eating, and then brought it outside to enjoy. I had to take a few photos of it first, obviously, because how often do you get to eat a porterloin in porterhouse in college? So Yeah, we sanitized the area around us, obviously, just cleaning up some of the juices. But that is our final result. That is what we got, and that was our dinner for tonight. And as you can see, it was well enjoyed by everyone. I also forgot to mention that, as you can see, the steak is cooked medium rare and very pink, and it was enjoyed by this fella who really, really loved it.
That is exquisite.